Hello, what's up, good people? Good to see you. Today we are talking about 3 businesses that never or hardly fails, all right? Because I know you've been asking yourself, Joseph, you know what it takes to get that capital and invest it somewhere. I wouldn't love to lose it. And today I'm going to give you some 3 best businesses that you can get yourself into that hardly to almost never fails. And because I know what people always ask myself, I'm not a risk taker. I kind of feel reserved when I want to start a business and I want to get myself in a surety. Then today is where I'm talking about those 3 best businesses that you can get. And yes, guess what? I'm gonna give you a bonus of the 4th one. And guess what? That one is usually my favorite. All right, so you better stick around. Make sure you watch this video to the end so that you get the full details in this specific channel of mine. All right. So anyway, but if I do that, I'll always take that 1 second just below there, down below there on your right, there is a button written subscribe. It is in black. All right, and then on your left there is another one drawn like this. That's a like. Hit those 2 wonderful buttons. Yeah. I know you're asking yourself, okay, fine, what's the importance of that? I can just ignore and watch the video, by the way, because that's what I'm interested on. Yeah, I understand. But guess what? Once you do that, you'll be notified whenever I upload another good future videos. Because guess what? On this specific channel, I talk about good things. So better do that, all right? Take 1 second. And guess what? It's only free and fast, all right? Let's get to today's business, all right? So number 1, this business, you know it, you have seen it, and probably you are a customer to this business, all right? And it is, that's correct, real estate or rental houses. This is one of the safest business that you can get yourself into, because guess what? There is what we call, the population of the world has already hit 8 billion. I don't know whether you guys are aware of that. The population of the world is increasing, and the Kenya has not been left behind. The population of our country has been increasing day in, day out. What does that mean? That exactly tells you there is an increase of demand of the residential areas, because this business falls under what we call the basics of a human being. And the basics of a human being are 3. That is shelter, clothing, and food. All right. So if it's shelter, that means that you're getting yourself into that thing that is dear to people, and they must have it for them to exist. All this population, and there is another thing that is called rural-urban migration. People are moving from the rural areas to, or where we call the urban areas. But nowadays, sometimes you even get the rental houses in rural areas. All right. So what does that mean? That tells you it's a business that hardly fails. Have you ever got yourself into a situation whereby you're seeing somebody is building or she is building rental houses, and you find maybe they say they are business ones, or we call them the commercial ones. You find those businesses are usually booked way before even they are finished. That tells you the demand is very high. People want to occupy those places, and people keep on shifting. All right, it's hard you finding a place whereby you built a rental houses and it's actually empty, nobody is there, unless there is something wrong. Maybe there is, the building is substandard, maybe your price is what we call, it's not even logical or something. So but in most cases, actually, or in all cases, you find that once you build your rental houses, you are sure at the end of the day you get your clients. You may not have a full percent or 100% occupancy, but at the end of the day clients will show up, and you don't have even to strain about advertising your businesses and such kind of a thing. Have you ever seen like a business that is being advertised in places like Kawangware, Pipeline, Nini? With all respect to those places, but the only big businesses one that you have to advertise, maybe the commercial ones like in Kilimani, where they are selling those apartments, the bungalows and what have you. There are 2 types of real estate, if you guys don't know. There are real estate where you build rental houses where you are renting them. You own them and you're renting them, all right? And there are situations whereby you also build them to sell them. All right, so those are 2 different things. So for selling them, you have to advertise, and for the common ones, sometimes it's not even a must. You can just build them, provided people passing by, then they can be able to communicate or pass the message to the next people. All right, so that's business number 1. Business number 2, actually, guess what? It complements this one. It's called hardware business. All right. For us to build this business that never fails, of course, we need materials to build them, all right? That's you find, and by the way, our country is a developing country. We are building capacities, we are building bridges, we are building houses, we are building infrastructure, railway lines, we are literally building. If you go to Nairobi, you'll feel like it's like a big construction site. What does that tell you? Our country is a developing country, and that means that we need construction materials, we need those, or everything that a hardware presents. That tells you the rental houses and the hardware complement each other. By the way, in most cases, you'll find somebody who builds rental houses or houses end up having a hardware, because in the process of them building, they realize, wow, I've used a lot of money buying these materials from a hardware. And that means because this building must continue and go on, why don't I go ahead and put up a business? Personally, I've dealt with more than 4 people who actually went ahead and built their own houses, or also maybe residential houses, and they end up put the hardware because they realize, wow. So meaning this business is quite a lucrative one. Yes, hardware is a very lucrative business, and you can get yourself into it, and that's a very nice business because they complement each other. And I've said these are the factors to consider. I have said that hardware business usually complements the rental houses, because you cannot have the rental houses without the hardware. All right, that's how you go, you get it. All right. And if you're wise, you already see something that they are related here, but I'm gonna get into that. All right, the third business is about health related businesses. You can put yourself a pharmacy out there, you can put yourself let's say a dispensary, you can put yourself a laboratory, whatever, or some just health related businesses, because nowadays people are becoming health conscious. A lot of diseases are hitting people, non-communicable diseases, diabetes 2, 1, whatever, cancers, we could talk about tuberculosis and what have you. So a lot of diseases, people are becoming health conscious, because we always say that healthy nation is always a wealthy nation. So that means that all this population, of course, there's some of the things that whenever there is an increase of population, of course these businesses, they have to go in line. All right, so health has to be there, because if you aren't healthy, then you aren't wealthy. That's a fact. So if you can get yourself, by the way, I do not know whether you guys know that health industry, not only in Kenya but also the entire world, it's one of the wealthiest, what we call wealthiest industry that you can venture into. It's also a situation whereby you always have, or you are at the winning end. For example, let's say you go to a dispensary or go to a hospital, you get your testing and whatever, and then you are prescribed to get some certain drugs and what have you, and then you show up with that specific prescription to a pharmacist who is disseminating those services. You cannot even bargain and say like, oh wow, it's 3,000. No, maybe can you do? You don't even know what are those, by the way. Even those names you hardly even can read it. So what does that mean in terms of business? That means that you're at higher end on the bargaining part. That means it's a good business that you can get yourself into. The other thing that I always love about the health industry, in most cases, it's you who determines the price, not the market. It's you who determines the price. For example, you can go to a place where they tell you, yeah, we do test for 500 or 600 or 2,000 or 5,000. Others do for 2. It's more of you determining the price. The other thing I love about health industry, because this is my favorite, of course, I love it because of something we call, like, it has high marginal difference, the profit difference, the margin between the buying and the selling. It's quite big and large. All right, some of the medicine you buy at 16 shillings and you sell them at 50. That is way number of multiplications. All right, so that's a good business if you get yourself into, because once the population increases, then you can always get these people as your clients as well. All right, so, and the fourth one, and this is what is a bonus, actually, it's about consultancy business. All right, or skill related businesses. Remember, I talked about rental houses. I also talked about hardware businesses. All right, and guess what goes hand in hand with that? Of course, we need technical parts of it, like people who fix the welders. We need people who do the masonry. We need people who do engineering, surveyors, quantity surveyors, the BQ people, the architecture and whatever. All these things people do actually do good, because let's say you are a consultancy person who you get consulted when someone want to get themselves into real estate business. All right, and then you put up an office somewhere. You're trading your skills. That business hardly fails, because you can just close the door and get out to the market, go to different sites and get jobs and get gigs. That's how you function. That's how you make money, simply in this specific industry. So those are 3 and a bonus one, so makes it 4. Those are 4 magical businesses that you can get yourself into and can actually get yourself a lot of money, because they hardly to almost never fails. And guess what? This is what I'm gonna give you at the end of the day as my view on this point, the reason why I made this video. That does not mean like if you can just assume a lot of factors and assume because Joseph said like all these businesses cannot fail, then I'm gonna ahead and put them up. No, you have to make sure that you follow all the protocols and all factors have been put as required. Of course, you must have good services as customer care services. Of course, you must involve what we call the good quality work. If you're getting yourself into real estate, we don't want to get ourselves into these situations where nyumba zinaanguka or what have you. So you have to consider, you have also to make sure that you do all your mathematics together and you make sure that you know how to balance your sheets and everything, all right? The balance sheet and what have you. So it is good to make sure that you put all other factors together and you actually follow them. Don't assume because Joseph said that this businesses never fails and then you feel like, okay, I'm just getting into it without even considering. No, you have to make sure that you put all those factors together. Involve the experts if you have to consult. Get yourself some business plans and all the preparations that are needed. And talking of business plans, I am here for you. I got those business plans for you. If you'd like to get any copies of booklet of business plans about business ideas, about shares, money market fund, treasury bonds and everything, you can get them. Get my number from the description of this video. I'll still pin it down below on the comment section. That means I'm waiting you on the comment section as well. So you get your copy to your WhatsApp as a soft copy. It's as simple as that. All right. So anyway, make sure if you watch this video up to this particular point and you don't know who I am, my name is Joseph. Talk about money, investment, and anything related exactly to that. So make sure you subscribe to this channel to be a member of this channel as well, and give this video a thumbs up. Share it out if you're in a position to. Comment down below, tell me what you think, and for now it's a goodbye. And guess what, I'm making part 2 of this video of other businesses. By the way, it's not limited to only 3. We have a lot of them, so you better subscribe so that you get the next video. See you there. Goodbye.